that are just really coming together. We even saw the sun come out and things heat up, so you're talking record highs that we've been seeing across the area. So again, all modes of severe weather possible. All the ingredients are there for all of our neighborhoods for those damaging winds, a spin up or two. Heavy rain, also a big threat. Again, going to be for much of our region, so flash flooding is possible too. You can see some blue skies for now, but you can start to see some shaking across our Valley Forge tourism camera showing you King of Prussia. I had to show you down the shore though. We have not really been able to see this shot of our Hard Rock Casino camera because it's just been so humid out there, and that really tells the story. Very muggy conditions, a strong cold front that will be plunging its way across the area. We've had breaks in the cloud coverage, so it's become a little steamy out there as well. And now we're starting to see a few of these cumulus clouds pop up even more and some isolated downpours. So this just shows that instability is there. It's happening. You're seeing it a little bit more just to the north of Doylestown, Limerick as well, around Interstate 476. Here's that southerly flow. So again, you're seeing these gusts really just carry on in a lot of the warm and humid air mass, and this is what you're looking at. Earlier, dew points were in the 60s, but 50s still make it feel pretty juicy out there. You have dew points in the upper 50s for Wilmington, Blue Bell, Philadelphia at 56 for that dew point. Now let's look at temperatures here because a new record was set for Philadelphia. We touched 82 degrees for today, but right now we're sitting at 80 for Wilmington, 81 for Dover, Georgetown at 80 and 75 there in Rehoboth Beach. Walking you through the next few hours again, as they said, going to get a little dicey around here. More of these cells will be popping up that pack some of that punch with some of those locally strong damaging winds, some very heavy rainfall, and then we see this line come together, and this could cause some straight line wind damage as it progresses to the south and east across South Jersey and Delaware. So again, this is going to be from now all the way until past midnight where you're still dealing with heavy rainfall. We're going to talk more about this, Brittany and I, coming up in just a few.
Okay, we'll see both of you pretty soon. Thank you, Michelle. And you can track
coming our way.
Yeah, Johnny, with the sun coming out, it only just is adding fuel here as these storms begin to pop up.
Yeah, that's right. So this is why we've issued the first alert. We want to make sure everyone is going to stay prepared as we go into the rest of this evening.
Yeah, so it's from now. We're already starting to see some of these showers and these downpours pop up. This goes until midnight that we have the chance to see some very heavy rainfall. Flash flooding is possible. Can't rule out a tornado or two popping up, and also strong damaging wind gusts. It's all because a powerful cold front is going to be sliding across the region. You can see the southerly flow. You can also see a severe thunderstorm watch across parts of North Carolina. We might be seeing a watch ourselves issued here in the next hour or so. We'll wait to see if that does happen. Right now, starting to see a lot of these showers and even some of these downpours bubble up across the area. In fact, let's take you to where we're seeing that now. Just a few across the area. Upper Bucks, you're seeing that, and Montco as well, where you're getting those oranges, those yellows, those reds. So this is right to the east of Green Lane, right to the south of Richland. A little bit of an updraft showing maybe a hail signature is possible with a few of these storms. Hail is going to be possible. That is one of the threats that Brittany's going to talk about. And again, seeing the gusty winds roll across the area, you're already seeing sustained winds over 20 miles per hour in places across Delaware. Look at the shore as well, where it has just been so muggy and so humid for today. We had dew points in the 60s, still have them in the upper 50s, so the atmosphere is juicy, as I like to say, and very, very warm. In fact, a little bit warmer than what guidance had suggested. You're seeing temperatures here into the 80s, and a new record high was set here in Philadelphia. So again, all of this just really adding some fuel here as these storms really start to ignite and get going. You look at the severe weather risk across the area. We saw the slight risk that was issued yesterday for our region, and now it's for the entire area. So it's a level 2 out of 5. And again, that means that all modes of severe weather are going to be possible, Brittany. So you're talking about everything, and you're tracking this out and timing this as we start to see these showers become more frequent and more frequent downpours as well. So again, this is for all of our region, everywhere highlighted in red for our area. All neighborhoods need to be on severe weather alert here as we watch the chance for those damaging winds. As you mentioned, the isolated spin up, the heavy rain, a huge factor too, because even though we're still in a drought, it's the rainfall rates that are going to cause us to have some of that localized flash flooding. Very, very humid out there if the camera doesn't tell that story at the shore because it's not raining there. But again, very, very humid across the region. And that warm warm and humid air mass, all driven by this southerly flow. We have a cold front approaching the region, so out ahead of it, it is just warm, it is muggy, it is humid, and then back behind it, cooler air. So we're getting some clashing of some of the air masses, and with the breaks in the clouds, that really allowed us to heat up, and that's just another ingredient just to add some of that energy in the atmosphere to get some of these storms to really fire up. And so what we're seeing right now, already some localized downpours just to the south of Milford. You're looking to the north of Doylestown as well, Limerick, right around Interstate 476, seeing some of those downpours too, and then just to the south of Interstate 78, this continuing on. I expect that to become even more frequent as we go on here through the next couple of hours, especially as we take it into 6 p.m. and beyond. You're going to see these gusty winds pick up too. Talked about the warm and humid air mass. You have dew points in the 50s and temperatures in the 80s and the 70s. So we are well above the average of 58 for this time of year. Again, everything coming together to get a lot of these isolated cells to pop up, and those isolated storms are the ones that we're concerned that could pack more of that punch, some of that spin. Once we get into 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, you can see this line come together here. Then you're talking a more linear situation with some of these winds just plowing right on through parts of South Jersey and Delaware, and very heavy rainfall, which could lead to flash flooding. So again, all modes of severe weather are going to be possible. It doesn't really clear out of here until we get to 4, 5, 6 a.m. and then everything will wind down. We'll talk more about these threats coming up in just a few.
Okay, Michelle, thank you. And you can track.
You can start to see those darker clouds coming in from that last live shot there. NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Brittany Ship and Michelle Vertell are here to tell us about that.
Yeah, starting
Ladies?
to see some of those localized downpours, and the sun came out today. All the ingredients are there.
Yeah, and the concern is right over this evening commute. So we're going to break down everything you need to know with these storms.
Yeah, so it's now and it's through midnight, as we said, that we're going to continue to have all modes of severe weather possible. So a spin up is possible, the heavy rainfall, which could lead to some flash flooding as well. And again, very strong damaging winds, another concern. It's a powerful cold front that's going to be sliding its way to the east. As it does, you have the southerly flow out ahead of it, starting to see some of the showers pop up here, and also starting to now see some traces, some lightning being detected popping up with some of these downpours too. So again, we'll take you into the live sweeping radar shot right now, and this is where you can see a few of those downpours, and we'll take you in for a closer look because a lot of this has just been training, and that's going to be one of our bigger concerns as we go on here, is just a lot of just stationary of these systems just staying here producing some heavy rainfall. So that's where we could see some of that flash flooding. Raritan seeing maybe a hail signature. Hail is once again something that we'll be watching with some of these storms. And look at this, just very strong winds. These are wind speeds, not even gusts that we're seeing that are over 20 miles per hour. But with some of the storms that roll through, we could be seeing some of them pack a punch up to 60 miles per hour. Again, you have all the ingredients here. A very warm and muggy day. Dew points were in the 60s earlier. They're in the 50s now. So with all of this moisture in the atmosphere, excessive rainfall outlook, it's a level 1 out of 4. It's marginal, but that means the chance for flash flooding could be possible with some of these localized storms as they do pass through. Hopefully we get some cooling off going on because we've been seeing record highs from Philadelphia down to Wilmington, saw a record high of 82. And you look at the slight risk for severe weather across the area, and it is for the entire region. So it is a level 2 out of 5, meaning we could have a few of those strong to severe storms pop up across the area that again have all of those ingredients and all of those threats possible. Brittany's here. She's going to time 78 for Philadelphia, 78 for Dover, 70 for Millville. Hour by hour forecast showing you that we start to see more of these isolated storms popping up. We'll see if we get a severe thunderstorm watch here in the next hour or so. Then this line turns more linear, meaning it all moves in this forward motion over parts of Delaware and South Jersey, continuing with the heavy rainfall threat. We will talk more about this coming up in just a few. Jackie.
All right, Michelle. Latest on a tornado warning, Michelle.
Yeah, that's right. Brittany and I were just about to come on air to give you the latest weather forecast, but a tornado warning has now been issued for Berks County. Just getting new information in by the National Weather Service. This is going to go until 6:45. We've been talking all day long about all those ingredients coming together and that we might have the opportunity to see a severe thunderstorm warning or even a tornado warning. So this does not mean a tornado was confirmed, but it does mean that radar detected rotation enough in those those upper levels and that we are starting to see some spin, which we did assume we would see with some of those discrete cells. So let's take you in closer for a look here. Anywhere you are, where you see that red box, that is where we're seeing just some very heavy rainfall. So Sinking Spring, you are just seeing some drenching downpours that are going on right now. Colonial Hills, you're seeing that too, all the way down to Springdale Heights. This extends out into the Redding area. We were just watching some of those isolated cells that we mentioned that would start to pop up across Berks County, Lehigh, Northampton, and this is where we're starting to see them come to fruition first. So again, this is a newly issued tornado warning by the National Weather Service, and this will continue on until 6:45. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a tracker on this so we can detect the direction in which this is moving and also the speed in which the storm is moving as well. All right, we are going to be tracking this again as we go on here and continue with you, but you can just see that reflectivity showing you that very heavy rainfall that is occurring here from Sinking Spring to Redding all the way down to Colonial Hills. Let's go ahead and see if I can zoom out. I'll look at this tornado watch box area. You can see it's one of those cells that is also producing some hail. I'll go ahead and turn on the interactive radar, and then this is going to give me the ability just to give you a little bit more of some information as we zoom in here. It looks like it's tracking northeast at this time. You can see that forward motion here. What I'll do is I'll also go ahead and track this out so we can get some counties going on here as we watch this track its way pretty much here to the northeast. Brittany, do you have a time or a speed for that cell?
Yes, it is tracking to the east right now at about 20 miles per hour. So we're putting a tracker on this right now. Again, this is for Berks County. This is going to be staying in effect for the next 30 minutes or so until 6:45. We have a severe thunderstorm that's capable of producing a tornado. It was located near Adamstown, and it is tracking to the east at 20 miles per hour. So if we zoom out here, we just want to show you where they identified this about 5 minutes ago. Again, that was near Adamstown. So if you're familiar with this, this is just to the south of Vinemont, and this is all tracking to the east at 20 miles per hour. Everyone that is included in this tornado warning, we're just going to start calling off some of these neighborhoods. And these
Here, but you can see it here. This is what the area that Brittany is talking about here. When you see that area of rotation where you get some reds and also some greens, and you get that tightly compacted look, it's not very bright, so that tells me that this is weak rotation that Brittany was talking about. This interstate here, 176 that you're seeing just to the north of Beckersville. There you go. Yeah, so this is the area that we're watching here. This is where they've identified some of that rotation. Radar indicated, again, this is radar indicated rotation, so that is why they've issued this. And Brittany, we were talking about how later on tonight this would become more linear, but this is very isolated in nature, and we knew we were going to see some of these discrete cells as we would go on through the first part of this whole scenario here, and that's what you're seeing. So looks like around Exeter, just to the southeast there of Redding, that's where you're seeing it, and really a Cedar Top Road. And you know, you have to remember that a lot of these radar scans that you're seeing are 3 to 5 minutes behind. So basically you want to just time that out, and you already do want to get to your safe space. Again, as Brittany said, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Go to the lowest portion of your home. If you have a basement, you can go there. You can also go to a bathroom, more interior place away from the windows. Take a mattress with you, things like that, some pillows. Just that way you can keep yourself surrounded just in case you do have some of those strong gusty winds. Do we have reports for, since we're getting a velocity signature, I'm sure they have just some of the gusts that we're expecting this to really kick up, Brittany?
So again, we want to emphasize, Michelle, this area Flying Hills right now. This is where we're seeing the red and green come together. So anytime we're dealing with a little couplet like that, this tends to indicate that we are seeing some rotation here. So again, if you know anyone closer to Flying Hills, or if you live just to the east, because we know
rates that we were just reading that you could be seeing with these storms. So if you want to just go ahead and query, and that means that we're just going to get information from this cell in particular, pretty much where she was detecting some of that rotation, that is what you're going to see. This is what we're talking about, these heavy rainfall rates that can make it very difficult to see even if there is a tornado in place. So you have that about 1.75 inches there per hour. That is just torrential downpours that are coming down down right now around Lancaster Avenue. You're just going there to the south of Reading. You can see that all the way down to Lancaster as well. But this cell in particular that you're mentioning here, it looks like that is just dealing with very, very heavy rainfall at this time. So again, making it difficult to see. You can see that velocity signature, as you said, a lot of lightning associated with it. So that just tells you that it is an active cell. Don't see much for any debris. Again, this is just radar indicated. So that just means that we're detecting some rotation in the atmosphere.
I think at this time it looks like the tornado warning has been
Expired.
canceled. Yes.
Okay.
So we're still seeing those severe thunderstorms. Everything is still tracking to the east, but the active tornado warning looks like it was expired a bit early.
All right, so we will continue to be tracking this for everybody as we go on. Those are the individual cells that we had been mentioning that we could potentially be seeing. And again, we saw at least one tornado warning so far this evening. Still have a long ways to go as our first alert will continue. As we've started this at 4 p.m., we just now saw our first tornado warning here just before around 6:20, and now we'll continue to follow this line as it moves through the Lehigh Valley. And remember, we will watch this track all the way through the I-95 corridor between 6 and 9, and then that first alert also continues on from 6 to midnight across parts of South Jersey and Delaware. Wind primarily the main threat, but as we said, we could see some of these spin up, which we have. But again, it was just radar indicated at this time. Jackie.
Michelle Rotella and Brittany Ship, thank you for that coverage of the Berks County tornado warning.